speaking of All In, there's a few people that are going to be all out, including Deonna Purrazzo, who we talked about, I believe. I may have glossed over it, but Deonna Purrazzo was reportedly signed by WWE a few months back. And I think it's all but official. WWE has yet to announce it themselves. But Deonna herself has not, denied the rumors, and I think has since moved to Florida. So I'm pretty sure that she is NXT bound very, very soon if she hasn't already signed the deal or hasn't already started working out of the Performance Center, which is great to see. But even Cody confirmed on Twitter that Deonna Purrazzo, despite being previously announced for the All In show this September, she will not be All In Chicago this coming fall, which is a shame. But Deonna Purrazzo is one of my favorite women's wrestling stars on the scene today. She is really, really good. She should do very well for herself in NXT. They really, in all honesty, should have signed her years ago, but it might be because they see her as, she's not the biggest name on that All-In show, but there were reports going around a while ago that WWE was keen on signing as many names as possible away from All-In so they don't compete on the show, which is a shame for All In, but it's good for WWE if they're picking up the likes of Deonna Purrazzo and now one Rey Mysterio. It was reported mere hours ago via the Wrestling Standard Twitter account, the Wrestling Standard Twitter account, I should say. It is at Wrestling STD. Not the most, not the greatest Twitter handle I've ever heard, but at Wrestling STD, for better or for worse, I guess can mean a variety of different things. They broke the news mere hours ago that Rey Mysterio has since re-signed with WWE for a 2-year deal, which is really exciting. This really should come as no surprise. I think a lot of us expected this to happen at some point, maybe not so soon. Then again, I think a lot of people thought it would happen right after WrestleMania. I know Mysterio did indeed get hurt. I was there for the injury. It happened at a Northeast Wrestling show back in early March. I was there for the show, had a great time at the WrestleFest show put on by NEW. He was injured in the main event alongside Flip Gordon. I think he faced Joey Mercury and one other person I can't recall, but he was injured. I think he hurt his bicep. He was all cleared up by a month or two later. He was given the green light to compete in the Greatest Royal Rumble about a month and a half after that. So he has since stepped back into the ring. He's wrestled a few matches for New Japan, which is cool. I don't know if we will ever get that Jushin Thunder Liger versus Rey Mysterio match that was announced months ago for the Strong Style Evolve show. We might get it, we might not. At this point, it's not really that big of a deal. Rey Mysterio, I've said time and time again, though, is one of the hottest free agents in pro wrestling today. And the guy is well over 40 years old. He is well past his prime. He can still have a great match. There's no doubt about that. He's not the Rey Mysterio of old, but then again, how could he be? The guy's taken so many bumps, so many bruises, has injured his knee like fucking 100 times by this point. That really should come as no surprise. But then again, the guy's still having very, very good matches, like I said. And he's the hot ticket right now. Impact wanted him a while ago, and talks broke down. I'm surprised that Ring of Honor never approached him. At least that was never made public knowledge. Maybe they did attempt to sign Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio and Ring of Honor would have been really, really cool. Ray of Honor would have been awesome. Obviously, he was signed by Lucha Underground for a couple of years, which he has since left a promotion. He was over in New Japan for a couple months. And he's since competed in a few matches for them. He's been doing a lot of indie shows. He was All In at one point. Now, I'm not sure if this changes that. Is Rey Mysterio off the All In show? Seems to be the question right now. I would assume so. I think the belief is that he might start on SmackDown Live as soon as next month. This reminds me a lot of the Shelton Benjamin situation from a few years ago when they initially brought back the brand split and they started running vignettes that Shelton Benjamin was on his way back to WWE. Of course, he got hurt, and he wasn't brought back for another year, but it looked like he would not re-debut on the show until after SummerSlam 2016. We might see something similar with Shelton Benjamin. He's already made the surprise return twice. Then again, we already kind of knew he was going to be a part of the Greatest Royal Rumble. He was advertised in advance for that event. But the original return at the Royal Rumble back in January, which I was in attendance for and had an amazing time, and that was one of the highlights of my, not only night, but weekend in Philly for Royal Rumble weekend, was seeing Rey Mysterio come back, which I wanted nothing more than to see just that, and we got it, which was phenomenal. But nonetheless, if they wanted to run vignettes promoting his return to SmackDown or have him come back as a surprise opponent for like a Jeff Hardy in the Independence Day Open Challenge for the United States Championship and have him take the title off Jeff so Jeff can take time off. Whatever the case might be, I think Rey is a perfect fit for the SmackDown brand. I guess you could put him on 205 Live. 205 Live is doing a lot better than it used to, which I'll talk more about a little later on because they have one of the best matches. They hosted one of the best matches I've seen all year up to this point between Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali on Tuesday's show. So putting him on 205 Live would not exactly be a slap in the face at this point in time. But then again, Rey Mysterio has so much more to offer than, a match here and there with like Akira Tozawa or Kalisto, obviously, or a Leo Rush could be a lot of fun. But I don't know, I just see Rey Mysterio as a better fit at this point in his career on SmackDown Live, feuding with a guy like Andrade Sin Almas. Ray and Alberto Del Rio feuded for like the first 5 months of Del Rio's main roster run. And it did Del Rio great wonders, to be quite honest with you. Del Rio was brought in. He beat Rey Mysterio on night one in clean fashion, forcing fans to take attention of Alberto Del Rio. Now, I'm not saying Almas is going to beat Rey Mysterio clean 1, 2, 3 in Rey Mysterio's first match back. That would be kind of stupid. But I think a series of matches between guys like Mysterio and Almas, Mysterio and Styles, Mysterio and Hardy, and a number of other people could be a lot of fun. So I really do hope that he does end up signing with SmackDown, ends up on the blue brand, and he will be back in WWE's good graces by around SummerSlam time, I would imagine, back on TV full-time by that point. So hopefully, it would be cool if they still allowed him to work all in, but considering what seems to be WWE's animosity towards the event and signing everyone that they possibly can, it does not look like Rey Mysterio will be all in come Chicago's September 1st event, which is a shame. But if it does mean that he is back in WWE doing hopefully something of note and not being, fucking jobbed out to the likes of Mojo Rawley or, God forbid, Ty Dillinger or, someone along those lines, or Shelton Benjamin. I mean, Rey Mysterio, if he's being brought back, hopefully for a 2-year deal with a lot of money, you would think they would use him right. But then again, they re-signed Rob Van Dam at one point. They had him under contract, and they had him really doing nothing for months on end, losing to Rusev on random episodes of Raw. They had the Dudley Boys for about a year, really not doing much of note with them either, aside from a quick tag team title feud with the New Day right off the bat. But beyond that, they did really nothing in their 1 year back in WWE. And people will always react to Rey Mysterio, there's no doubt about that, but if he is coming back, if he is taking himself off the free agency list in the world of wrestling, then he might as well be utilized correctly. Not saying that he should be WWE champion again anytime soon, if ever, but, if the guy's on SmackDown, positioned as a top star, feuding with the aforementioned likes of Almas, Hardy, Styles, Orton maybe when he comes back, Nakamura, Miz, Samoa Joe, Rusev, that would be a lot of fun. Otherwise, what's the point? Aside from the money, what's the point? So I did want to share my thoughts on Rey Mysterio coming back to WWE. Very exciting times in the company right now.